Engineers have once again emerged as the champs of the CAT exam, which opens the gateway to the premier B school in the country, the IIMs, which, as you all know, when you pass out of, you can get a fat paycheck, which over the last few years has once again become almost the sole preserve of the techies, the IIMs in fact. In fact, a tweet that has been retweeted to
One is a doctor, his name is Jaydev, and he's our gold medalist. He's now with McKinsey. He's an MBBS doctor. We had Manvi Ahuja, who's a Sriram College of Commerce graduate. She was a Citibank Leadership Award winner, now in Deutsche Bank, is doing extremely well. Now, if you look at those who get through from the humanities to the IIM system, do remarkably well because they bring the much needed diversity that not only learning institutions such as ours are looking for, also companies are looking for that diversity. And so those who indeed make it do make an impact. And so in absolute numbers they may be less, but in terms of impact they do equally well if they're given.
So you're saying that companies are also in fact looking for diversity. Let me just point you to a couple of tweets that have come in. Subhash Ved has in fact said that techies should work constructive in their field of specialization and management should be left to those having an aptitude of management. Sumit Goyal has also said yes, the reasoning and DI section are biased towards mathematicians. Arvind, you want to respond to that?
Being a techie, being a so-called techie, I guess, being labeled as a techie. See, we all as engineers study engineering. I, for one, never practice engineering. Let me tell you one thing. And that's another myth. A lot of people who become MBAs and managers are engineering graduates. They've been trained to study engineering. They've been trained in studying engineering. They have never practiced engineering. Number one. Number two, it's a mindset. All these trainings are mindset. Engineering also is a mindset. I mean, that's something I keep telling all the new students, the new candidates who are getting into IIT. All IITs or engineering schools train you into a way of thinking.
But Achal, I just want to bring you in, if you're listening to me from Bombay.
Yeah.
You're also saying that management requires more than just the training of the mind, isn't it?
Yes, of course. I mean, to make a good manager, you need managing human resources. You need managing situations, and you also need to analyze options which may require some mathematical skills. But when we are selecting students to become managers in CAT, you are just heavily skewed in terms of the mathematical training. Yeah. And I think to that extent, I think the system is a bit flawed. You need people from diverse backgrounds to make good managers, and it doesn't. There's no correlation between managerial skills, mathematical skills and being a good manager. So to that extent, I would, to all those who are participating, I think it is a point to note that we should have an admission system which is a little different, which is not so mathematics skewed. And that's my point.
Pranav, do you want to respond to that? You feel that the exam is the same for everybody?
Yes, I do feel that it's a level playing field because while I may be having a BTech degree, but I don't consider myself to be a conventional engineer in the sense that my quant and my math was not very strong.
Yes.
A year from now, I used to have difficulty splitting a bill of 4 people on a dinner table. That's how weak my mental math was. But I approached it from a verbal angle and worked on my quant from there. Now the IIMs take their own sweet time. They take 2 months to segregate the scores. They assign weights and so on, and then this is how the percentiles come out. It does not matter if you just go and maximize your quant section, you are there. It doesn't work like that.
That's right.
So it does not come down to mathematics, number one. I am a standing proof of that. And let's just keep this about the CAT, because what the IIMs want, that's their prerogative, and they will in the future look to bring in more diversity. But as an exam...
But Pranav, Professor Chatterjee is saying that world over people are looking, in fact, abroad. To hear that engineers actually go on and do MBA degrees is practically unheard of. Internationally, mostly people from financial backgrounds actually go on to do MBA degrees.
No, there they would be doing a BA in economics or a BSc and then going on to do their MBA. But here, in India, every student is focusing towards engineering, and then after the third year they look, where do I go from now? So there they, most of them turn to the IIM door. So that's just something that's been ingrained into every student. And my final point,
can I just add one simple thing? See, the point here is that here is a social construct where at the pecking order of value, there is this engineering, medicine, and then at the bottom end is fine arts. Now, if you have a social construct of this nature, it stands to reason why merit moves towards engineering and medicine, because the pervasive belief in middle class India is you are either an engineer or a doctor or a chartered accountant or you are nothing. Now, if that's the social order, it is very difficult for us to compare India with any other country, because it is a unique phenomenon.
So can I comment on the international part?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Arvind, you want to talk?
See, on the international part, you know what Professor Debashi said, and all of us are saying, see, India engineering is one of the default streams after class 12, and the better students end up taking engineering. In Western countries, it's not like so, and there's a lot of other streams that people prefer too. But world over, the GMAT exams, the GRE exams, if you see, are always cracked better by engineers. But how do business schools abroad take the students intake? They give some weightage to the GMAT scores, the GRE scores, but a lot of weightage is given to work experience, diversity in the classrooms, sectoral caps, and things like that. So,
Arvind, I just want to bring in a few you'll find them very interesting. In fact, Enthusiast has written to us saying the IIM being a techie ghetto is essentially a reflection of the sad state of affairs of humanities institutions, a fairly important point. Kalpana Mohan says what you guys have spawned is a bunch of greedy engineers who want money. Pipelines from IIT into IIM is hurting research. Saran is also saying analytical mindset and mathematical skill set are more or less synonymous. The cat is skewed towards these attributes, I guess. In fact, Kalpana Mohan is also tweeted saying, my husband is a computer scientist at IBM, cannot say this enough. I'm sick of watching friends' kids choose this route myself. Perhaps ties into what Professor Chatterjee was saying. Would you, Pranav, say that all of these people who are, blasting in a sense the whole IIT, IIM combined are just sour grapes?
Well, yes. First of all, neither I am from IIT, and I have not got into any IIM yet. I have just one person who's taken the CAT exam very recently. So, I know all I can say is about the CAT.
Yeah.
And the CAT is not skewed towards engineers. I'll tell you the kind of questions they ask.
Okay.
They ask you questions about X sells to Y and then Y sells to Z and profit and loss.
Okay,
Simple
so you're
questions.
saying basic logical questions, basic common
math
sense
questions, which
okay.
is every student learns till class 10.
Yeah. Okay. Unfortunately, Pranav, we've got so many of you on the panel today with really, really interesting perspectives, but I just want to wrap this debate by giving Professor Chatterjee the last word. Sir, a lot of people, at least the public, really believes that the IIM is skewed towards people like techies. Do you feel it's time to change the format, and it's absolutely necessary, keeping the fact that globally international companies are looking for diversity?
Yes, indeed. You see, we are very sensitive to the fact that we lose out on some really extraordinarily bright students from multiple streams. Our work is not just to sort of look at CAT as a more inclusive kind of testing mechanism. We are also looking at benchmarking this exam with the best in class in the world. We are also sending the word out saying that CAT is not such an intimidating phenomenon as one of the panelists just said.
That you'll have to do a lot more.
It is commonsensical stuff, and so we are by and large, we are making this more transparent, more accessible.
Right, and that of course
more enriched exam.
That comes as fabulous news to hopefully all the people who are watching this show. Thank you all so much for joining us, and of course everybody for sending in your tweets. But I'm going to have to go with what Professor Chatterjee is saying. Lots of you saying that the the CAT exam is in fact skewed, and that's perhaps how and why it explains the phenomena that IIM currently does look like a bit of a techie ghetto. But Professor Chatterjee is promising that all that will change very, very soon. Thank you so much for joining us on this debate. Let's slip into a short break. We come back with some more on the social network.